Welcome to the London 2012 GamesMaker radio training presentation. This presentation will last just over 10 minutes and cover all aspects of radio usage on a venue.
The purpose of radio training is to introduce you to our radio network and provide you with the knowledge and skills to enable you to use a radio effectively at games time. By the end of this session, you will be able to explain how to use a radio handset, practice radio conversations relevant to your functional area, outline the correct voice procedures. The main points are also contained in the GamesMaker workbooks and pocket guide inserts, and radio posters can be found in workforce break areas and radio distribution rooms.
Airwave are the official radio supplier to the London 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games. They also supply the UK Blue Light Emergency Services and have built a new, totally separate network specifically for the Games. Airwave will also provide the thousands of radio handsets required across all venues. After the Games, the network will be put to good use by being incorporated into the UK Emergency Services network to provide improved coverage.
Radios enable one person to communicate with many others, making it a very effective method for teams to contact each other over large distances and in big venues. Here are some of the things we use radios for.
Changes to event timings.
Crowd safety.
Weather updates.
Medical situations.
Major incidents. The VCC is the main communications hub on a venue. They are responsible for monitoring radio traffic and any issues that arise. They also provide venue and event-related information, such as weather updates or anything that might affect the competition schedule. If an all call to every radio user on venue is required, for example to alert games makers that the competition is about to begin, then this will come from the VCC. Their call sign is VCC.
The Radio Distribution Room, RDR, distributes and manages the stock of radios on each venue. The RDR will replace radio batteries and deal with any technical queries about the radio handset. In the event of losing a radio, a brief search should be conducted, and if unsuccessful, your line manager or the RDR should be informed immediately.
Within each venue there will be many functional areas, FAs, using radios. To facilitate all this radio traffic, the venue is divided into talk groups, which are different radio channels that are allocated to a group of users. Usually this will be by FA. So, for example, sport will normally have the talk group SPT, medical, med, and technology, tech, etc. Therefore, the talk group for the event services team at Weymouth would be WAP-EVS, where WAP is the venue code for Weymouth and Portland, and EVS is the talk group for event services.
The screen of each radio handset will display the venue and the talk group it has been programmed to. This radio is programmed for the talk group OPS1 at the Aquatic Centre, AQC. OPS1 is used by the venue management team.
Each radio user within a talk group will have a call sign which identifies their role. For example, the venue general manager, VGM, is always Venue 1. The venue security manager, Security 1, and so on. You can only speak to other call signs within your talk group.
Your call sign is not displayed anywhere on the radio itself, so you will normally get it from your team leader or line manager. A full list of call signs can be found on the venue fleet map, which is on display in each radio distribution room.
Let's start by turning the radio on. The RDR will normally have done this for you. The on button is on the front of the handset and is highlighted. Press it to turn the radio on. You will see the venue code and talk group displayed on the screen.
On the screen, you can also see your battery indicator. You should always check this is fully charged before you start your shift, shown by the green indicator.
Once the radio is switched on, look at the top of the handset. The transmission lamp should be lit green. Green equals good service. Red equals no service. And black equals turned off. The volume can be adjusted to an appropriate level using the volume control. The red emergency button is only in use by certain functional areas, so if required you will receive more information about this at your venue.
To make a radio call, push and hold the Press to Talk (PTT) button. The screen shows group in use. Always pause for a second before speaking. When you have finished speaking, release the PTT button. Conversations should be brief, as the PTT button is only active for a maximum of 30 seconds when pressed.
The radio has two microphones, one upper and one lower, which are highlighted here, and either can be used. Although the majority of games makers rarely need to unlock the keypad, it can be done using the menu button and star. The options button and navigation wheel are used to access the radio menu and folders within. This is done to change talk group, which requires permission from the Venue Communications Center, VCC.
It is important to remember that when using a radio, the entire talk group can hear what is being said. Not only that, but potentially hundreds of other people within earshot of the radio, including spectators, journalists, athletes, VIPs, etc. With that in mind, you should keep things brief and operationally focused. Avoid profanity or anything discriminatory or insulting. Never give confidential information over the radio.
To initiate a radio call, say the person's call sign twice, followed by your call sign once, then over. For example, if your call sign is Transport 4 and you wish to speak to your team leader who is Transport 1, you would say, Transport 1, this is Transport 4, over.
To respond, you say, this is Transport 1, over. To aid communication, the following procedure is always used. Over at the end of each message means a response is required. Out at the end of a message means the communication is finished and no further response is required. Here is an example radio call from the Workforce Operations Manager, Workforce 1, to the Logistics Manager, Log 1.
Log 1, this is Workforce 1, over.
This is Log 1, over.
Hello Log 1, please could we have 3 tables and 12 chairs delivered to the workforce break area, over.
When do you need them by, over?
We need them by 3:30 p.m. if possible. Over.
No problem, Workforce 1. I'll let you know when they have been delivered. Log 1 out.
Stand by means that you cannot take the call at present, but you will call back as soon as possible. Message received means that you have understood the communication. Say again means that you require the caller to repeat their last message.
In the event of an incident or emergency at a venue, radio communication will be key in ensuring a swift and accurate response. Sensitive information is communicated using coded terminology to avoid causing panic.
Please remember that although the information that follows is general to LOCOG, it does differ in some existing venues, like Excel, so you should make sure you are familiar with the correct terms at your venue training.
In the Games Maker Pocket Guide, you will find a table with the correct terminology to use in the unlikely event of an incident occurring. An example would be reporting a suspicious bag or object that appears to be unattended, which over the radio would be referred to as an item of interest. A further instance could be in the event of observing smoke or fire in an area, which is reported over the radio as code white.
There is also a color coding system in place to ensure all games makers are aware of the possible escalation of an incident, and again there is a table in your pocket guides containing the details. Under normal circumstances, the venue will be at incident state green. If an alert is received, this moves to incident state blue while an investigation is conducted. Should it be necessary to evacuate just part of a venue, the state will be raised to incident state yellow, or, if a full venue evacuation is required, incident state orange. Finally, in the worst case scenario, incident state red indicates a full site or park evacuation.
Finally, please be aware that these incident states are primarily for monitoring and information purposes. If you hear an incident state color over the radio, this is not the actual command to evacuate, which will be usually given over the PA system or by a member of security, fire warden, your team leader or line manager. As a final reminder, you should ensure you are aware of any specific terminology in use at your venue that may be different.
You have now completed the LOCOG Games Maker radio training presentation. You should now be familiar with the radio handset and voice procedures, as well as the potential incident and emergency terminology.
The key points are contained in your Games Maker workbooks and pocket guides for further reference. For any questions, please speak to your trainer or line manager.
Thank you for your attention. Radio Training Team out.